destination?
Spring cleaning junk drawers.
Let's go for a ride.
Welcome to Girls Trip. So far this week we have covered bath and beauty, as well as all things kitchen. Now we are moving into it's getting scarier.
Yeah, scary zone.
Every day the idea is that we're getting scarier. But we're getting into the most neglected places, I would say, of the house.
It's in the name.
Yes.
The junk drawers.
The junk drawers.
That is for junk.
Yes.
Yeah.
So junk drawers, office spaces, paperwork, all of that stuff that you don't really want to think about. You just want to shove into places.
Yeah.
That's where we went to see what we would find. I primarily focused on my office because that was a really big undertaking. There wasn't a lot of time left for other things. And I can talk a little bit about junk drawers, but what did you cover?
I have a actual drawer that is a part of Artie's, what do you call it, where you keep your clothes?
Oh, dresser.
Sorry. I was like, dresser.
Brain free.
Where's that? So it's in a very bizarre spot. It's like Artie's clothes, my junk drawer. Artie's clothes, Artie's clothes. It's very odd. I keep everything in that if I don't have a place for it, to the point where I've had like receipts in there. I've had paperwork. I've gotten better with the paperwork, trying to really keep that out of there. But this is like some jewelry, nail polish,
Oh boy.
like face masks, batteries, chargers, like everything you could think of, scissors, permanent markers, something from our honeymoon, like a...
But isn't it funny that like if you have to get one of those items, you know where it is? It's in that drawer.
I really do. And I can be like, I organized it, it's over there underneath two things, and like I can find it if I really need to. Oh, my checks are in there actually, now I'm thinking of this. Yeah, my checks are my checkbook. Which I've only written like 4 checks in my lifetime. Like actually, tangent. I just like wanted to renew my passport and they only accept a check to be sent. And I literally was like, I'm going to write this check, Artie. Can you just make sure it's correct? Because I've written like 3. So I was like, don't tell me. I'm pretty sure this is correct. And then I slipped him. And he was like, yeah, that's good. And I was like, great.
That is
Anyway,
so funny.
because everything's done with your like debit card now or cash.
Yeah.
To add on to that tangent, I found like, 6 checkbooks between Miles and I that like probably none of them had the right addresses on anymore.
Oh, no.
But I was just like mentally, I'm like, I don't have time to think about how to properly dispose of these.
Shred every single one of
they're
these.
staying right there in this drawer. But at least they're all together and I know where they are.
I'm gonna shredder.
Yeah.
Which I have now.
Oh.
Just saying. I got my own shredder.
Love it.
But when I can't just throw it in the garbage,
I know.
sometimes I'm like, I
It goes in the
can't.
junk
I
drawer.
can't deal with that right now.
It's 100%.
I get
So
that.
this drawer is a all-day event. Like this is not something that I can complete in an hour.
Right.
This has gotten to the point where I have done this when Artie is working. So I give myself, like I will stay up until 2 a.m. and be like, either it's staying on the bed and I'm falling asleep or we're completing this process.
Wow.
Because it's just, for me, it's very overwhelming because there's so many different things and I don't exactly have the organizational tools or bins at this moment. In my perfect world, eventually I would get those, like go to Home Goods or something, but I just haven't been able to do that. So every time I organize it, I really am trying to be strategic about, okay, let's put this is like a tall thing, it won't fall over, let's put it this way. Yeah. So it definitely takes a lot of brain power for me to like get through the whole thing.
Because most things end up in a junk drawer because they don't have a spot.
Right, they're like a weird shape, or it's, again, like such random, like I had like a necklace that I got when I was like 10, but I'm like, I'm not throwing this out, but it's weirdly bulky, and like it was like a shells, and like
Like
shells.
where do you put that?
Where the heck am I putting this? In my jewelry box? Not really.
Yeah.
So all of this stuff goes in there, sunglasses, but I will take everything out, lay it on like comforter, clean surface here, and just start putting everything out. And I'm one of those cleaners. I can't really do this with the refrigerator or the bathroom, but a junk drawer, cold mine. I put a headband. Ooh, a ribbon. I'm gonna tie it in my hair. Ooh, sunglasses. Sunglasses.
So you're playing dress up while you go.
Like this is that classic like meme where it's like anyone with like, you know, whatever ADHD or something, you find them cleaning and they literally come out in this like outfit and you're like, I just found this. That is
That's
me
funny.
to a T cleaning this junk drawer. So on top of the time that it takes just to clean it, I'm like in another dimension.
Right.
So this is an all-day event.
That's amazing.
So
Why is none of this hard to believe at all?
So that's why I don't do it often because I know how time consuming it is. So I have to be in the mood to do this.
I think of unusual torture and punishment would be to have you both
oh my God.
like clean a junk drawer
Together?
Okay, this I would probably be like throw it all out. Like I either like we're gonna be very careful or I get so overwhelmed like just chuck it. I can't
We
do it.
actually might be a good team.
We might.
Yeah, it would either be so good because your style is so different, you would get it done in half the time, or someone would come out with wounds. I don't know.
I am, and also strangely in this junk drawer, I'm very sentimental. So there are some very weird, specific things in there that I'm like, I don't know where to put them, but I'm not throwing this out. Right
That's
now.
where I'd be like, we're throwing
That's
it
what
out.
she would be like. Take it, embrace the sunshine of it, and throw it in.
And throw it away.
Take a picture of it and throw it in the
That
garbage.
would be it. And I'd be
You're
like,
very
no,
sensitive.
I'll be like,
Yeah.
sorry.
No,
I'm an adult. I can make my decisions.
That's the wound. Okay.
Yeah. So that was like you went to the junk drawer. It was a
was a
full day.
Yeah, of just mental mental work.
And was there what was your end product? Was it a more organized junk drawer, or was it things that shouldn't have been in the junk drawer that went in the proper place?
So I would say I did clean out like receipts, like unnecessary papers that I just randomly like weird bags that I'm like I just didn't have time to put them somewhere. So I did throw stuff out. I would say for the most part I really don't reorganize everything, but just because I take all the things that don't belong there out, it does look cleaner. So I really don't change too much, but I'm more just taking the junk and throwing it out. Again, like receipts and random stuff. Because I have gone through it maybe once where I'm like, okay, like the old lotion, I'm like, I don't need this anymore. Like, what is this? So as the months go by, like I will slowly start to purge those sentimental things here and there. But yeah, for the most part, it stays the same. I'm just getting the volume slightly lower.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's kind of, it stays the same. I'm just figuring things out.
So you're probably gonna have to go back in a couple months.
I will, yeah. And I think I really do want to try and get some organizers for it because I think
that'll help.
ultimately that will help everything look better.
Yeah.
Like I would never send Artie into that and be like, can you please grab me? I have to do it myself because he will be like, what is this? Like, I don't know where I'm going with this. Yeah. So it's a lot, but when I do accomplish it, I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
And I don't have to think for another month. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, not looking at that.
I feel that.
So I have a little bit of a nuanced perspective on this because I don't really have a junk drawer yet. Like my junk drawer has like a pen, a Sharpie, some scotch
Cute
tape,
little stickers.
scissors. Like it's what it's supposed to be is like what it is. I have a junk room right now, which
That
is this,
sounds even scarier.
so this is where I'm not cheating with you guys because right now the spare bedroom, which we've never had a second bedroom, the spare bedroom has become the catch-all for everything in this move.
Yeah.
So, oh god. So this was not a day.
Yeah.
This was over the course
This will be
of
some time.
a week or two. The last thing I want to do at 5:30, 6 o'clock when we're thinking about dinner, not anything else really after work, is like, okay, then let's head upstairs and start organizing. It's like the last thing I want to do. But at the end of the day, I do get satisfaction after spending like a solid hour in there, being like, wow, okay, I went through all these like bags and boxes.
It's like the timeout situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing that got me to really do something like aggressive for like 2 or 3 hours one night with it is because I have my walking pad, which we've talked about, and it goes under my desk. and I have not used it yet because there's so much stuff all over my desk and I can't work on it. Also, we don't have internet, but that's another topic for another day. So I can't really work at it yet, but I know that we're getting in soon, and there are things that I can do on there. And you know what? At the end of the day, I can use my walking pad and put something on my phone and watch something, you know? So I'm like, I just really want to get back to this. It's going to be raining for the next couple days. I really want to get like on this pad. So that was my motivation. I just went in there like a Tasmanian devil and just started chucking stuff and throwing stuff and really trying to organize everything and the variety of things that because it was literally just, I don't know where that goes yet, just put it in the spare bedroom. So all of that crap, it was so much stuff. But I would say we're 75% of the way there.
It's really good.
Through it all. And a lot of it too was like spring clothes, which I'm just starting to really change over. So that was annoying too, because you're putting away in your closet all your winter clothes, but then you're like, I have to change this in a couple weeks. So it's going to be another project and another good thing that's going to come.
That's coming. We're doing that. So
yay! So we're getting there, guys. My junk room is slowly but surely getting there.
So now you are an interesting case study because you work from home.
Yeah.
So your desk office area is important, but do you think that you plan to do the bulk of your work actually at your desk, or do you think you're going to work other places in your
Once
house?
that room becomes what I want it to become, that's going to be like my sanctuary. Because I have a lot of plans. I really want like the floating shelves with all of my books on it. Like I don't even want a bookcase to take up any room. Like I just want the shelves of my books and my workstation, and the bed is right there too. If I need to just be like, no. Take like a quick 5 minutes siesta.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, that is dangerous. I'm gonna just work on the bed.
So dangerous.
But that room is gonna be like sacred to me once I have it set where I want it to be.
And that'll also make it, I think, for your brain be like, I do not want to disrupt what I have made and created.
Yes.
So I'm going to be very specific about what I throw in here.
Yes.
Or
this
take the time to organize that better.
Definitely kind of going off, but back to the not having internet thing. So Thomas and I got into a rut over the last 5 years, and we also love TV. We love movies. We got into a rut where doesn't matter if I'm making dinner or we get dinner out and bring it home or whatever. We are having dinner on the couches and watching TV and watching the new show that we're binging. Because we have not had internet since we moved in, has it been a month? Yeah, it's been a month. So since then, we haven't been able to. We've been having dinner at our kitchen table. So we have a kitchen table and a dining room. We've been having dinner every night there together, and that's like our space now where we do that. And the living room is for something else now. And that is for this. And we've never had the opportunity. We didn't have the opportunity to have that. So, but I know if we had the internet, we would have carried over that. And it has become like something I look forward to, and him too, so much, to spending that time together at night. The reason why I'm talking about it is because I realize the importance of having your space for certain things. And because I do work from home, I don't want that to bleed over into my like living room space. I really want to keep it where it belongs, for as long as I can. Like once you throw like kids into the mix and stuff, everything's going to change. But I do see the value in using a space for what it's meant to be. The living room is not meant to be the dining room, right? It's supposed to be the living room. My office upstairs, the second bedroom is, we don't really have any, no one's living in that second bedroom. So that's my office space. That's meant for work. So instead of bleeding it all together, I think, to wrap it into our conversation, that's how you keep organized, or a little bit better, help you keep organized. So,
and I think just mentally having that separation.
It's so important.
When I go downstairs to start cooking dinner or something, like I'm not taking that work with me.
you,
Or when I'm trying to watch a movie with my husband, I'm not going to take that work with me by having my laptop follow me all throughout the house, because it is so easy to do that.
It's so easy, and I think mentally it's good for you, it's good for your spouse to be like, no, this is like important. This is an important time. So I'm learning a lot.
That's a nice new shift.
A little bonus.
Yeah, my office is less of an office and more of an event space. And And I am utilizing like every inch of it. It's not a very large room, but it's a good enough space that I've never had before.
Yeah.
I never in a million years thought that I would be living in a house where Miles and I could each have our own office space.
Awesome.
That was like an amazing blessing that I never thought I'd get to have. So I was really excited to have that space, but it can get out of control really fast because I mean, right now alone, I have Easter baskets for the kids that I've started to fill and put stuff in. I know that Miles and I are going away on our first trip at the end of May without the kids. And so obviously have to start collecting some things to leave them for when we're away. Then we have family vacation this summer, so I'm always collecting things for them to like do on the plane and whatnot. Then I'm a class parent for Avery, so I'm always in charge of like putting together the goodie bags. So I have all of that stuff out. And then, I had like 3 kids' parties last month that I still have wrapping paper and bows out for. And like, it's just literally endless. I also have piles of gifts because I do fundraising for my day job of events. So I have to order stuff and I have to keep it somewhere. So I have like an espresso and in the box and the KitchenAid and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of like the dropping place. I come home from errands or whatever, it all just gets dumped in there. So it can become a disorganized, overwhelming space very quickly. So that had been something that I had been neglecting, knew that I really wanted to get in there and do. And I do feel better about it now that it's, and I have a bin of like, okay, this is, gifts that I've bought and I don't know who they're for, but they're so cute. I couldn't leave them at the store. So I'll have them in one place. And this is, gifts that I'm buying for the kids for various things. And, this is whatever, different categories of things. But the one big thing that felt like I have to do this or I will not feel like I have done justice to this room was months ago, like many months ago, I had bought frames to put up on the wall in my office. It had just been sitting there in a sad bag for so long. And I was like, I can't let them sit in that bag anymore.
Why is that so hard?
I know.
We have frames.
Yeah, well, I think it's because I don't trust myself to do that by myself.
You need your husband.
So just because I feel like I'm not going to use the right, I don't know. Like, does this need an anchor? Do I need a stud? Does that matter? I don't know.
Anytime you include your spouse, it becomes a bigger project.
Like, you both have to be available at the same time. You both have to be in a good mood at the same time. Finding all of that to align just makes it like sit there for longer. So I finally got those up on the wall.
Yes, very good.
This feels amazing. So the 2 things that I feel like I took away from this, one was in taking from the minimalist podcast I listened to, was I have done some Poshmark stuff, selling some stuff on Poshmark. And I've had, I don't go crazy with it. I'm not on there all the time. I just kind of like pop it up there, and if it sells, great. If it doesn't, whatever. But they have, I don't think I went over this rule, but in their 16 rules, one of them is about selling things and how we have a hard time letting go of things because we feel like they have a certain value, that like we don't want to let it go unless we make that money back or something, but then we end up holding on to things for years.
And then it decreases in value.
That we don't want, right?
Yes.
Decrease in value, and we, so they kind of have rules around how long you give yourself to sell something before you say, I have to let this go. I have to throw it out or donate it or, something. So I had definitely been holding on to like this giant bag of stuff that I had put on Poshmark, but had just been sitting there of like kids' clothes. And so I'm making like maybe $1 off of each thing if it sells. And it's like, this has been on here now for like over a year.
Time to go.
I need the physical and mental space more than I need those couple of dollars. So I need to just let it go. And it felt very freeing to just like delete those things off Poshmark and be like, that is getting out of my house. So that felt hard. And it's something that I just like didn't want to do because it's perfectly good stuff. That's always my fault. It's perfectly good stuff.
I think we're the three of us feel the same way about this. Like no one wants to be wasteful in the US.
Yeah, we're not trying to.
And I'm thankful that we have that attitude, but don't let it get to the extreme, and I'm preaching to myself, of then causing more anxiety because it's just taking up space. And that's all it's good for. It's not doing anything else. So there's a line.
It holds you back.
Holds you back for
sometimes, and you gotta.
But I like that. Throwing it out, throw out, donate, or sell. I like those three.
But
things.
if you're gonna sell it, you put a clock on it. And say, I'm gonna give myself whatever makes sense for the platform you're using, for the item that it is. Like I'm giving myself a week. I'm giving myself a month. I'm giving myself whatever. And if it doesn't go by then,
just let it go.
No, I think it's a good rule.
I have to cut ties.
Okay.
I have a question. Hold on before we move on. Your calendar in the office, does it still say June?
No.
Is it 2024, 2023?
It better not be 2023.
No, it's 2020. It's 2024.
Okay.
This
I was like,
so.
I don't know if she would get to that, but just curious. If it
I
still
didn't
says
get to that. It does still say June 2024.
This is why I have issues. So if Lauren can't manage to update her calendar, how am I going to manage my life?
Well,
how am I going to manage my life if Lauren can't?
Okay, well, let me defend
out?
myself.
I'm ready. Go ahead.
The one up in the kitchen's
So to be clear,
It's working.
This is a whiteboard calendar.
Yes, it
So
is.
you have to fill in the dates and stuff
Okay.
like that. Okay, so I do have a paper calendar on the wall in the kitchen,
Yes.
which stays up to
is
date.
consistent.
That has what has allowed Miles and I to work, because sharing the phone calendars didn't work for us.
Like you're married?
Yes.
Marriage together.
Pretty much. So that stays up to date. However, like I said, my office is not the traditional office. I'm not going in there and doing computer work every day. It's very seasonal how I'm using that space.
Yeah.
Certainly there are times where I'm locking myself in there to do computer work.
Yeah. Or your Myers-Briggs test.
Right,
Yeah.
or my Myers-Briggs test, yes. But I am using that calendar primarily to organize myself around my camp time.
Okay.
So for the nonprofit that I run a summer camp.
That's why it says June.
In July.
Yeah.
And so starting in like May, I will start using that a lot to be plotting out all my deadlines for things. Like I need to have this done by this date. So May, June, camp's happening in July. So primarily May and June is when I'm using that. You'll also see like a whole wall of sticky notes during that time because I have to group people.
So that's your fabulous organization.
Yes. Now,
calendar.
should I have erased it by now? 1,000%.
For the sake of everyone else going in there, yes, it would have made us feel much better.
1,000%.
No, that's.
I mean, I'm not judging you. I'm just curious because I have done the same thing.
No,
I've had a post-it on a wall for like
that's
40
a great
years.
explanation.
Yeah.
She needs multiple calendars in her life.
Yeah, so it has a purpose. Like
Yeah,
I think
that
of it
makes sense.
less as a calendar and more as a whiteboard that just
100%.
is being used as a calendar.
Very good.
You feel good?
I feel great about that.
I feel good too.
Accepted.
I accept that.
I feel good.
I accept.
Stress.
Yeah, I feel really, really good about that.
Yeah, as far as junk drawers, I mentioned this when we talked about the kitchen. I definitely have too many junk drawers, and I'm trying to work on that. I have one junk drawer, like this is what I want our main junk drawer in the kitchen to be.
Okay.
And I do organize that maybe like every 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
And I have that, like, I know what I want to be in there, and it's all stuff that belongs there. It just gets messy.
Yeah.
So like this is where I go to find paper clips and scissors and a stapler, and you know, so I just have to like reshuffle and organize it. Then I have my little drawers in the kitchen that I talked about that I really don't want them to be junk drawers. I just can't figure out
what goes
in there because nothing fits in them. But then it becomes like junk drawers throughout the house.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we definitely have maybe not drawers, but like a junk bin type thing in our bedroom. And then we have a junk bag, and I'm like, I don't even know what this is. What are these wires? What is this that I want my husband to throw away and he won't? And then my office definitely has like a couple of things. And like, again, they all belong in there. it's just not in a neat way.
Yeah.
Of like,
well,
stuff.
the junk drawer is, I mean, all of it is ongoing, but the junk drawer even more so, I think, is needs more updating constantly.
Yes.
Like, it needs more maintenance. Not that the fridge isn't important, like, we can't have rotting eggs, but
Not with what they cost right now, no.
No, God, no. But the junk drawer feels like it can get out of hand so fast.
Yeah.
So quickly.
Yeah.
So that's something that needs to get updated, like maybe more on a weekly, every other month.
And especially if you have 10 different, junk drawers
that's
throughout the
right,
house, that can get overwhelming too. I mean,
Yeah.
part of one of the podcasts I was listening to as well talked about like what makes sense for you. It doesn't have to make sense for everyone else. So if your junk drawer makes sense to you, it's messy, but you know where it is, great. But if you have 5 different bags and you're like, this is just not working for me,
Yeah.
like, it's time.
It's time.
Yeah. Well, I think part of the problem is that more than half of those things that I mentioned are like, what can we call them? They're like
Miscellaneous.
decaying junk drawers. Like they're not or not decaying, but like they're not active. Like there's certain things that are active. Like exactly, even if it's not perfect, I'm actively using the stuff in there, and you know what it is. Other stuff, it's like we have not touched that in 2 years. It's just stuff that we don't know what to do with. Like for some reason, we're not pulling the trigger on throwing it in the garbage, or I don't know. We can't make any decisions on it, so it just sits there.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that makes me a little bit crazy that I wish I could purge.
Yeah.
My challenge with this kind of stuff, with paperwork, junk drawers, office supplies going forward, is I now need to make it more kid accessible, if that makes sense. Like my kids are now getting to the age where they can be more, they're definitely autonomous. Like when they want to do arts and crafts or something, they just go get the stuff.
Yes.
But they need to learn to put it back. And I need to create systems that allow them to do it that's age appropriate.
Okay.
So right now, like Avery, I'll be like, you need to clean up that stuff, and she'll clean it up to the ability that she has.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, she has a desk in her room, she has a desk in her basement. There's just markers and crayons thrown in both drawers. Then we have crayons in the kitchen for homework. Like, it just stuff gets put everywhere.
It's a really good thing to pick up on.
Yeah. So I'm like, I need to create systems that's easy enough that they can actually follow through on, but that teaches them consistency and having a designated place rather than just put it away. Because then I don't know where it's going to end up. Even with like their clothes and stuff, like they know they're supposed to take their shoes off and their coats off when they come in, but like they can't reach the coat hooks. So then their coats are set up on the floor.
It's like,
I need to have like lower coat hooks for them, So I'm starting to look at those types of things differently.
So that we can all be tidying.
Y'all together. A tidiness.
Exactly.
In our perfect world. Well, let us know if you have all those fun tips. Or what's the scariest thing you found in your junk drawer? Who knows? Or is it a 10-year-old thing? Or some really old receipts. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, don't forget to enjoy the view wherever your ride takes you.